Okay, given how weak the market was overall today on Friday, I think a market update is in order again, because although the end of day numbers did look pretty weak, the overall market was even weaker again than the end of day numbers made it look. And I want to make that clear, especially in light of what the market has been doing in recent days. So basically what happened is they tried to bounce the market this morning again, but it started failing pretty quickly. It did bounce around, but got weaker as the day wore on. Steadily so, I mean. And so basically what ended up forming over the course of most of the day was what is called a descending triangle. Don't let the terminology get you too much. All it really means is that if you put trend lines around the boundary of the trading, it looks like a descending triangle. In other words, trading that is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Normally, a descending triangle resolves to the downside when it is done. That is what happened in this case. And so once it busted out of the triangle near the end of the day, it went down pretty steadily. That's where most of the day's loss came from, because the entire triangle was above zero for the day. The triangle happened basically because the traders were trying to hold Dow 33,000 through the end of the day. They did not manage to do that when the triangle resolved to the downside before the day ended yet. The market ended up going below Dow 33,000 in the process and then continued on. It went down pretty steadily at the end of the day, even accelerated down yet a little bit at the end of the day, but they managed to catch that, and then the closing bell hit anyway. But it closed at pretty much bottom tick for the day, and ended up down about 230 points on the Dow, I meant to say, and the end of Friday bounce that happens well over 50% of the time, late on Friday afternoon. Well, when I say Friday afternoon, I mean late in the trading day. If it doesn't happen, it's a pretty weak bounce or not at all, and in the worst case, it goes down instead of up. Okay, that's what happened today. Okay, it went down very steadily and closed basically at bottom tick. No sign of an end of Friday bounce this time around. I expect that weakness to continue given what's going on with Ukraine and what Putin has said about it. He has made very clear both before the invasion and during the invasion that he has no intention of letting up on his plans. Okay, and he's made very clear what those plans are. They have not changed over the course of time. Are they good? Are they friendly? No, of course not. Do I like what's going on? No, of course not. But it is reality, just as what I just talked about in the market is. And the other reality, which is also typical of downward markets, is that the S&P 500 went down even more in percentage terms than the Dow did, and the NASDAQ, which is the tech index, which tends to lead on the way up and on the way down. The market is currently going down, so it is leading down. It was down quite a ways too. They also tried to hold the round number there. They failed quite miserably in doing that in the NASDAQ today. Okay, so the market is quite weak and will probably continue to be such. Okay, so expect more of the same as time goes on. Not necessarily straight down right away. We are bouncing up and down for now, okay? But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing turns into a more sustained down move in the bigger picture pretty soon, not unlike what happened at the end of the day today, bearing one thing in mind when I say that, okay, which is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a steady downtrend coming out of a descending triangle. All I meant by that earlier comment is that when you have a descending triangle, it tends to resolve to the downside. You don't necessarily have to have a descending triangle to end up with a market that's going down. In fact, the big down moves happen not coming out of descending triangles. They're much bigger than what would come out of something like that. So anyway, bottom line is market is weak, continues to be weak, continues to show major weakness today. The main reason it didn't show it on the end of day numbers was because most of the trading today was above zero. I don't expect that to last a really long time yet. We'll see what happens.